Hi there. I am the CRM Ninja, and on today's episode of the Oops Factor, I have Kristine Kolodziejski. Welcome to the show, Kristine.
Hi, you okay?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm not too bad. Thank you. Glad it's Monday. It's nearly Friday. That's all I can think about.
Indeed, indeed. But see, my background that I've got on tonight has several things which are very dear to your heart, which you may also be thinking about, because I have, of course, drumming because of the musical band, and of course, floating above my head, I couldn't get a picture of Kinder, a Kinder Bueno in it, but it's the word chocolate. I know you love chocolate, right?
I do. Well, this is what I've eaten today. Like Kinder Buenos, Kinder chocolate, another Kinder. I think I've had like 12 of these today. Um, I've got
Wow.
lollies, just anything you want. I've literally just got to here.
So, so chocolate, well, chocolate is probably self-explanatory because very few people I know of actually don't like chocolate, but drumming. How did you get into drumming? Because I've been really curious ever since I found out that you're into drumming.
Okay, that's cool. So when I was like 15, 16, I took up the piano and one of my best friends played drums and that's literally it. I really wanted to try drums. I think one thing that I've always really enjoyed doing is when you go to see a band or you watch a band on YouTube,
Yep.
the drummers always seem to have the most fun. Like they always seem to be the people that just don't care what's happening in the audience, whatever. They will just be smashing it on the drums, whatever happens, just having the best time. And I think it's really addictive because you get to kind of smash it out of the drums when you've had a bad day. And yeah, it's I don't know, and because it's just so loud, I just like loud things in general. I love loud cars, loud bikes, like just anything that's really loud. I love. So yeah, so I guess that was it. And to be fair, right now, I still do that. So when I've had a bad day, I will literally just go on the electric drums behind me and literally smash the hell out of them. Am I allowed to say the hell?
Yeah, you can.
So
This is fine. You can say whatever you want.
so I kind of started playing. I picked it up just kind of sideways because I've always preferred the piano anyway. And then when I moved to the UK, I didn't couldn't afford really the drums or the piano, so I kind of stopped. And then I got these drums just a couple of months ago, and then I got a piano last year as well. So yeah, so I decided to kind of get back on that again and have some fun. And to be fair, it's really therapeutic. So
Yeah.
apart from eating chocolate, I find that playing drums or playing the piano, which is actually in the other room, is super relaxing.
That's amazing. I mean, obviously, chocolate is very therapeutic. I mean, they're all well known because it's a chocolate and certain ice cream at times as well. Um, but as you say, smashing the hell out of the drums, you get all your frustration out. It's physical. And I remember watching Phil Collins, not live, unfortunately,
Yeah.
and just the energy around drummers and that sort of thing is just amazing to see.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's just like I said, because it's so loud, you get into it so quickly, and it's like just travels through your whole body. It's just incredible. I love it. I love it. My neighbors don't, but I do.
Well, that's why at the moment you have electric drums because they're
Yeah,
not as
well, exactly. I do have an amplifier, by the way. So if someone annoys me, I am able to just plug it in.
I remember reading an article some years ago. I think it was in the Reader's Digest about a deaf drummer,
Okay.
um, a female. She
Yeah.
was I can't remember how old she was at the time, but she'd learned to play, and she would go barefoot on the stage because she could pick up the different tones
Wow.
from the
Okay, then.
vibrations coming through it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's amazing. So actually there's a girl that went on America's Got Talent last year, I think, and she was deaf as well, and she went to sing, and she said that she knows the tones that she needs to sing based on like the ultrasound or the kind of vibrations that she
Yep.
gets, which I just think is incredible. I mean, it's difficult enough to learn how to sing or play the piano or play the drums when you can actually hear. Never mind trying to learn it when you're deaf and yeah, it is just incredible to me. That's like another level of talent. Yeah, it is awesome.
Indeed, fully agree. So going from drums and smashing things, and I wish I could smash things, but having three kids
There you
around
go.
me, that
You want one of these?
instead I just go for rides on the motorbike because that way I can twist the throttle and let it out that way a bit, I guess. But going from that to the oops factor, what do you have to share with us today?
Oh, do you want a personal oops factor? Do you want a work related oops factor? The personal one is more funny than the work one.
Let's go for the personal one.
Right. So I don't know if it's actually appropriate to say it here. I'm guessing it is. So when I was 13 and my brother was 12, we really wanted to try to smoke cigarettes. Right. So
Okay,
my
this is
mom,
an unusual start. Okay.
yeah. So I promise it gets really funny. Well, it wasn't funny at the time. So we really wanted to try, how to smoke cigarettes. So my mom has always smoked since I can remember. And we were kind of scared to take one of her cigarettes because she'd obviously noticed that we'd get in trouble. You know what it's like when you're a kid. So we
Yep.
decided to make our own, as bad as that sounds, because cigarettes obviously are really expensive when you're a kid. And I don't even smoke anymore, partially because of what I'm just about to tell you. So we decided to make our own cigarettes. So we took a sheet of paper from the printer, literally
Okay.
cut in half to try and like roll up a cigarette. And we got a tea bag, just like you
You got a
do.
tea bag.
just,
Okay.
just like you do. We cut it up and we put that into the piece of paper. And we thought, right, I think it's time to try that out. And we went to another room, and that room had wallpapers on. Now you probably know where I'm about to go with that. So anyway, my brother was like, okay, I'm gonna try it first. We literally stood by the window. He was like, I'm gonna try it first. So he what do you say? Lit it up, lit it up. Is
Yeah.
that the word? He lit it up and he was like, oh, that's disgusting. So I was like, oh, let me just try mine. So as I lit it up, the fire just like went like that. And because I was so scared, I just threw it behind me. And obviously, as you can imagine, the whole wallpaper went on fire. Like literally everything behind me was on fire. And it was a really old kind of wall, dry wallpaper behind me.
Ouch.
Everything was on fire, like everything. So my brother screamed, then I screamed, then my mom ran in and she was like, what on earth is going on here? So she was trying to put it out and she managed to put it out. And at the end of that, she was like, right, you really want to try cigarettes. So I'm actually going to make you smoke a cigarette just so you can actually see
Oh
how
boy.
disgusting it is. And I've never had a cigarette in my mouth since. I've never smoked anything since. I hardly even drink alcohol these days because I'm so scared my mum will find out.
Hold on, your mother doesn't approve of you drinking alcohol.
No, she does. She does really. She does. But
Okay.
I always have that at the back of my, mind that, what if she finds out? So yeah,
Wow.
so that was the kind of oops story that I always remember, and I've had plenty of disaster stories in my life. Actually, funnily enough, I have more disaster personal stories that I have work related stories. Um,
That could probably be a good thing, and that
yeah,
work just goes smoothly, and then one's personal life may not go
yeah,
smoothly.
yeah. I mean, one of the kind of most embarrassing things of my career, I guess, events of my career was when I started a new job. And just as I moved to London, as soon as I moved to London a couple of years ago,
Okay.
on my first day, I walked into the office in high heels and I was walking behind a person and I fell onto that person without knowing who it was, who then turned out to be a non-executive board member. I guess that was a really embarrassing experience. I mean, he laughed at that. So I think he took it fine. But to me, a new start in a new organization, that's not the best start, I guess.
Was it, purely for technical reasons under that standard scenario? Were we talking about like 1 or 2 inch heels, or were we talking about like a significant higher heel?
We're talking about 5 inches. Yeah, we're talking
Okay.
about a really spiky kind of 5 inch that's really thin as well. That used to be my style. Well, that is still my style. I love wearing heels. Anyone that's seen me in public knows that I love heels. But yeah, it was a very tall heel, and I was wearing a really kind of skirt that wasn't the most comfortable either. So your walking is just not the best. And yeah, just like you do, I just fell onto the non-executive board member because why not?
I could say that
That's it.
on your first day in the office, you walked all over the board.
Yeah, I guess that's a good analogy. Yeah. So yeah, but no, funnily enough, because I used to have so many weird things happen to me in my life. I used to think that when I was about 2021, I would start like a diary similar to like Bridget Jones' diary, because I thought I was going to be famous and
Ah.
start writing my own stuff and then think, maybe one day I'll sell it as a book. Obviously, never did. And that's probably why I write post as well and have a blog, because I do actually enjoy writing, even though obviously I don't write about personal disasters. Um, I do kind of like writing, but yeah, my life is like a walking disaster, my personal life. I'm the clumsiest person in the world as well. So I drop things all the time and stuff. Yeah. Be careful around me. That's what I'm
Noted.
saying.
Noted. It's interesting you mentioned about the writing bit, because writing a book, is difficult, especially technical books. I've reviewed for a couple of them that are that are around the Microsoft stack and stuff, and I'm in awe at the people who write them. And so many people say they can't write, yet there are living aside fiction, which is obviously a whole different category. You need to make everything up to start with, which admittedly for some people may be easier. But there are so many people out there who blog, and if you would turn around to them and say, would you consider writing? But they no, 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 they can't write. But they're producing such amazing blog content. I always find it really interesting.
Yeah, I think the problem with the book is that with an article, it tends to be a lot shorter. So it's, it can be quite long in characters, but it's never quite as long as a book. So then if you were to write a book, it, it's not only time consuming, but you then worry about the grammar and all of that, and worry about how to actually structure it so it's interesting to the person reading it. I think that's the worst part. One thing that I always try to do is make sure that the person reading my blog posts things that they are clear, but they actually enjoy them. So I tend to kind of create my blog posts in a kind of story-like. So then, we do everything step by step. Oh, we've done something wrong. Let's fix that, rather than kind of overwrite it or overthink it. But with a book, there's a lot more effort, and I genuinely I could never write a book, never, literally never.
Never say never.
Yeah, well, maybe one day. Wait, maybe one day I'll write a sequel to Bridget Jones.
Quite possible. There are several others out there. You could write
Yeah.
you could write a technical book about good ways to style power apps.
Yeah. Well, why not? Why not? If someone wants to pay me for that, absolutely fine.
You do have some amazing material around it. I've been delving deep
Thank
into your
you.
blog recently about how you
Oh,
go and
thank
create the
you.
neomorphic and all the other ones. I'm like, wow, that's
Oh,
crazy.
thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, I've definitely found my niche with writing, to be fair. I think I found the kind of area that's not covered very frequently, I guess.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, I'm loving it. I've always liked nice things and then building stuff. So it's definitely something that I enjoy as well. And I try to kind of make it as enjoyable for people reading it too. No, thanks, UI.
No, pleasure for that. So let me ask you this question. How did you get into technology to start with?
Yeah, so when I was like 15, 16, I was always dipping in and out of kind of IT. But then I moved to England. I moved to England with no degree. Didn't go to university. I only had like A levels in IT, in computer science, technology, and graphic design. So I moved to the UK with hardly kind of any language at all. I could speak some English, but I was definitely not proficient. So I kind of just wanted any job. I was only 18. I had no family, no friends over here, literally like £200 in my pocket. I'd
Wow.
found a house share on Gumtree.com. I hadn't even seen the house share. For all I knew, I could have been going to a serial killer's house. Yeah, I've watched way too many serial killers documentaries. But yeah, so I did that. So my first job in the UK was actually working in a JD Sports warehouse. That was my first job that I will never forget. I was carrying boxes all night, a week straight, literally.
Ouch.
And yeah, it was definitely not the best. And then I found an office job. It was in business administration. So I did that. Then did some business administration and management qualifications, then moved to a business manager role. And I just knew I didn't want to do that. I'd always liked IT. That was like that's why I always geeked out. I've always liked gaming and stuff. So I knew I didn't really want to do business management. I'm a very kind of, what's the word? I'm a very pragmatical person. Is that an adjective?
Yeah.
I take a pragmatic approach. I don't like talking about the talk too much and stuff. So yeah, so sideways, I kind of managed to do some SharePoint administration through one of the business management roles, and I knew
Ah,
that was it. That was my entry point to technology in general. So then I thought, okay, SharePoint admin is just admin. It's not really technical as much. Apologies to anyone that's watching this. Sorry, this is not meant to be offensive to anyone. SharePoint administration is difficult, just to say, and it was on-prem as well. But yeah, it was definitely not enough for me. I wanted to actually build things as well. So I learned how to do HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and then started doing some C#, and then recently I've been learning React as well. And I knew I wanted to go into technology. So I found a job in a proper IT department. Do you know the people that work in the industry for like 20, 30 years
yeah.
that know every single thing about like I don't know, firewalls and everything else. And it was intimidating to say the least. You know, these were people that had been in the industry for so long, and that was me. You know, someone that's never worked in proper IT.
Yep.
They obviously expected me to have a lot of knowledge, but they were really supportive as well. So in a very short amount of time, I had to absorb a lot of information. And then we were working on a deployment of Microsoft 365. That was around 3.5 years ago now.
Okay.
And through that, I was recommended to have a look at the Power Platform. So I attended one of the Power App in a Day sessions, and that was it. I was sold. I knew I wanted to do that. I'd done some freelance web development before, but I knew that was the kind of my thing to go ahead. So I started building some applications internally, started kind of working on that, learning a lot more. And yeah, here I am. So
Here
yeah, so
you
then
are.
I moved from kind of internal development to actual consultancy. And yeah, I decided to kind of pass some exams. So I'm 13 times certified now. I've got 2 exams this week as well. And you just kind of continued building the knowledge, building the expertise. And yeah, around kind of 7-8 months ago, I decided to actually start contributing a bit more. Actually, not even 7-8 months ago, like a year ago now. It's been, and yeah, here I am on the Oops Factor, which I'm very excited about.
Wow, that is really quite a journey.
Thank you.
And just listening to that, I mean, obviously, reading your blog, and there'll be a link to the blog in the details down below
Thank
when
you.
this goes live on YouTube. The description, that was the word I was looking for, the description for the video. So my mind's a bit melted with the heat at the moment. So, but I didn't realize, you're like really pro devy in all of
Thank you.
that. So
Thank you.
wow.
Thank you so much. Yeah. No, it's been a journey. I'm not going to lie. I've spent my 20s. I'm still in my 20s. Oh, shouldn't say that. Yeah, I've spent most of my kind of early years literally working from 8 till 6 and then 6 till 1, 2 o'clock at night, learning more stuff and more stuff and more stuff. And to be fair, I still do that, admittedly. I do that a lot. Yeah, it definitely cost a lot of time, but it was the best time ever. I couldn't have spent any better. And yeah,
Good.
I'm now in a career that I literally love. So yeah, definitely worth it.
That's amazing. Well, Kristine, thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for your time and coming on the show.
No worries. It's a pleasure.
It's been great to have you on. Viewers, we hope that you've enjoyed this episode. Feel free to subscribe to the channel, take a look at the blog. And if you would like to come on the show yourself, hit the link somewhere in the description below, put your details in, and I'll reach out to have you on the show. But above all, have an amazing day.